These are shots of Lenin taken during his lifetime. Moscow marked May Day with a parade of the Young Red Army on Hodinskoye Field. Lenin, chairman of the Council of People's Commissars, was present. In August 1918, a malicious attempt was made on his life. The hopes of the enemies of the young Soviet Republic were not realized. Lenin survived. Here he is in the Kremlin, taking his first walk after convalescence, accompanied by Bunch Bruevich, head of the administrative department of the Council of People's Commissars. As always, Lenin was full of energy, eager to cope with the revolutionary tasks. On the first anniversary of the October Revolution, at the unveiling of a memorial to Marx and Engels in Moscow, Lenin said, "It's to the great historic merit of Marx and Engels that they proved by scientific analysis the inevitability of capitalism's collapse and its transition to communism. It's to the great historic merit of Marx and Engels that they indicated to the workers of the world their role, their task, their mission, namely to be the first to rise in the revolutionary struggle against capital and to rally round themselves in this struggle all working and exploited people." In March 1919, The funeral of Mark Elizarov, first People's Commissar of Railways, was held in Petrograd. Lenin attended the funeral. He came to pay his last respects to his friend and comrade in arms, and to console his sister, Anna Ulyanova, widow of the deceased. On March the 18th, 1919, the working people paid their last respects to Yakov Sverdlov, first president of Soviet Russia. On that sad day, Lenin addressed the memorial meeting on Red Square, saying, "We've lowered into the grave the remains of a proletarian leader who did more than anybody to organize the working class and to ensure victory. Long live the memory of Comrade Sverdlov." At his graveside, we solemnly vowed to fight still harder for the overthrow of capital and for the complete emancipation of the working people. In his speech at the May Day parade, Lenin said that until then, people had likened the future, which their children would see, to a fairy tale. But now it had become evident that the edifice of socialist society, which they had founded, was not a utopia. That day, Lenin visited the workers of the Rublevo pumping station near Moscow. The first All-Russia Congress on Adult Education was held on May the 6th. We see Lenin and his wife Nadezhda Krupskaya and Anatoly Lunacharsky, People's Commissar of Education, among the delegates. (1919) was a difficult year for the young Soviet state. The party called on the people to rise in defense of the gains of the October Revolution. On May the 25th, workers' regiments and military schools demonstrated their readiness to fight in a military parade on Red Square. Lenin, chairman of the Council of Labor and Defense, witnessed the parade. He was accompanied by Tibor Samueli, Commissar of the Hungarian Soviet Republic. On that day, Lenin addressed the participants in the parade, saying, "Today we are celebrating the universal military training of the working people. Up to now, matters military have been an instrument of the exploitation of the proletariat by the capitalists and landowners. But this most reliable prop of the bourgeoisie will collapse when the workers take up the rifle, when they begin to form their own vast proletarian army, when they begin to train soldiers who know what they're fighting for, who will defend the workers and the peasants, their factories and workshops, and prevent the landowners and capitalists from coming back to power." Gramophone record of Lenin's speech made in the autumn of 1919 to workers' detachments leaving to fight the White Army of General Denikin has been preserved to this day. Comrades Red Armymen, the capitalists of Britain, France, and America are helping with money and munitions the Russian landowners who are bringing troops from Siberia, the Don, and North Caucasus against Soviet power, for the purpose of restoring the rule of the Tsar and the power of the landlords and the capitalists. But this will not happen. The Red Army is invincible because it has united millions of working peasants with the workers who have now learned to fight, have acquired comradely discipline, who do not lose heart, who become steeled after slight reverses, and are more and more boldly marching against the enemy, convinced he will soon be defeated. On November the 7th, 1919, the working people of Moscow celebrated the second anniversary of the Socialist Revolution in Russia. military parade was held on Red Square. Lenin was among the people celebrating the anniversary of their great victory. On May Day, the inauguration ceremony for a monument to Karl Marx was held in Moscow. Lenin signed the memorial plaque. And he laid the cornerstone. That same day, attending a second inauguration ceremony, Lenin said, "On this spot, where a monument to the Tsar once stood, we are laying the cornerstone of a monument to free labor." The great leader led a simple life. His tiny flat in one of the Kremlin buildings was furnished very modestly. Lenin lived here with his wife, Nadezhda Krupskaya, and his sister, Maria Ulyanova. These are the only existing shots of Lenin at home during a rare moment of relaxation, away from the pressing tasks connected with building the world's first socialist state. How right the poet Vladimir Mayakovsky was when he called Lenin the most humane man of all. On July the 19th, 1920, the Second Congress of the Comintern opened in Petrograd. Lenin delivered the report on the international situation and the principal tasks of the Comintern. Lenin's ideas formed the basis of the Comintern's activity and helped unite the forces of the international proletariat in their struggle to liberate man from oppression and slavery. On the opening day of the Comintern Congress in Petrograd, Lenin spoke at a meeting. The following sessions of the Second Congress were held in Moscow. Lenin chaired the second sitting. He spoke on the role of the Communist Party in the labor movement. A year later, the third Congress of the Comintern was held in Moscow. It opened in the Bolshoi Theater. Lenin delivered a report on the tactics of the Russian Communist Party, Bolsheviks, and spoke on the Italian question and on the tactics of the Comintern. Lenin could be seen sitting on the steps leading to the Presidium Rostrum, jotting down notes. In the spring of 1922, Lenin's health deteriorated. He went to the Gorky estate near Moscow to recuperate. In October 1922, having barely recovered from the illness and fatigue, he returned to work. Again, he plunged into the demanding work of running the state. And again, the constant stream of people, colleagues, workers and peasants' delegates coming to Lenin's study. The great leader heard them all and had a word of advice and instruction for each and every one. Together with Lenin, they were able to see beyond the trials and hardships of the struggle, the bright communist future of their homeland. The shots of Lenin were taken in his time by cameramen Tisa, Levitsky, Slavinsky, Giber, Shilyabushsky, and Novitsky. Direction, Rom and Slavinskaya. A Central Documentary Film Studios production.